So let me paint you a picture, if I may. So there you are, brand new game has come out, and you feel the absolute desire, the need to play this game. You just been waiting for it for a while, or it might be a game that your friends may have put you on, and you're like, you know what? I have to grind this game for the next 5 days straight and do nothing else because this game means so much to you. And you do that, and after 5 days, the amount of progress that you've made in the game is incredible, insurmountable. I'm talking you've gone from noob level to the best tier possible in that game. And you go, all right, cool. Now let's get back to being a productive person. And haha, it does not go well for you. You can only think about the game and only the game and continuously think about the game and wanting to play the game while trying to do all of your daily tasks. And eventually, instead of being productive like you want to, you just go back to playing the game for an extended period of time. Does this sound familiar? Well, it does for me, because it's happened to me earlier this year even. So a brand new game had come out. It was called Palworld. I believe it came out around January 19th, I think it was. And I fell into that same trap. And it was the last time I ever fell into that trap. So I had taken, to give a bit of context, I had started really taking personal development more seriously, I would say back in January of the previous, so January 2023, I started taking it more serious because there was a big business opportunity that my friend and I were a part of, and we wanted to make sure all of our focus was on that, and we knew that we had to start cutting out stuff that we were doing wrong in terms of like our personals and add stuff that were good, like reading, meditating, all that good stuff that you've probably heard a million times that you should do. The one thing that I was very hesitant to keep or like to remove was video games, because that had been a very integral part of my life, and all of a sudden I was being told, hey, stop that, stop playing video games. So I still continued. I obviously did my best to kind of limit myself, and it somewhat worked. Instead of playing like 7 hours a day like I used to back in high school, I think I played like 2 hours every couple of days, every day. I still played, and I still, was active with the friend group and such, but it wasn't like, whoa, the crazy like 37 hours I would do normally. So I was getting progress. I even quit my job and was full time for my business, so that was very good. Definite progress. I was very happy about it, and I had thought that over time the video games that I used to play got boring, got uninteresting, nothing new was coming out. So I think around October, I was kind of done with it. I was streaming at this point as well. I was streaming on Twitch. I don't anymore because I kind of got tired of it, kind of got a bit bored of it. And when I stopped streaming, that's when I kind of just stopped playing for a bit. Because then in January, they're like, oh, hey, Power. I was like, whoa, this game's so cool. Let's play it. And I kid you not, played that thing for, I had the game for about a week or two, something like that. But I woke up 6 in the morning, went to the gym, did my morning stuff, and started playing at like 8, and then didn't stop playing until like midnight, and just repeated the cycle for an entire week or two, just playing Palworld. It was so ridiculously stupid looking back that I did that, because I spent the equivalent of like 100 hours playing a game that in the end I threw away. I didn't keep playing. I stopped. That was the last game I truly grinded, and I regret it. I'm at a point now where I feel that video games hold me back, and you may feel the same as well. Video games, I'll be straight with you, good for you. I'm kind of sorry to tell you that, but I'm also really not. You need someone to tell you straight up, from someone who was in that position before, of wanting to keep video games as a part of their life. You just can't. There's only, honestly, the two exceptions, and that's it, that I could even argue for keeping video games as a part of your routine. Number one, and absolutely no one here can say that they're this, is that you are a successful Twitch streamer or on the cusp. So you're making an income, I would say minimum, from streaming. That's reason number one can still play video games. That you are a successful streamer making money and growing. That's the main and only reason. The other reason is when you have grinded really hard for like, let's say a month. I'm talking you've made thousands of hours of progress in the span of a month. Then you can take a break, couple of days, 1 to 2 days. Video games, fine. Get back into the groove of working. No harm there. You've worked your ass off. You deserve a bit of a break. That's when I would say, yeah, you deserve to play some video games if you would like. You deserve to go watch anime for a bit. Go right ahead. You've worked your ass off. You deserve a bit of a break. But generally speaking, a lot of us, we feel that we just want to play video games all the time. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. I've tried to keep it a part of my life. And the more I did, the more it wasted my potential and held me down, held me back. Instead of me using an hour for building my business more, or learning a new business, or improving myself personally, it would be spent to video games. And what was the net gain? All it did was impact me. It screwed with my dopamine, which as a video gamer, you kind of need those fixes. Screwed with me, wasted hours of my time that could have been used for something productive. Recording, scripting, freaking planning, doing my other business, learning. All of those things would have gotten me something, anything, even just reading. I will learn and I can implement and I can create titles, and that is productive. Video games genuinely are not productive, and I have finally come around to this idea that video games are not productive and they're not good for you. If you are still thinking that, oh, but I'm different, I can do both. I can do video games and I can do my business, or I can still grow my business, or I can try entrepreneurship, or I can do this, or I can do that. I'm sorry, but you can't. And if you do, you're limiting yourself on your potential as well. You can't do both. I have tried for years. It's never worked. Please, if you decide to right now to try and challenge this idea, you will find it will not end well for you, because you will feel one of two things. You will either feel, wow, look at all this time I'm playing video games and doing business. Wow, look at me go. When you're still making less money overall than you really could. This isn't about trying to compete with me. This is about competing against yourself and improving every day. And because you play video games, well, you're always going to be behind. So it doesn't really matter if I try really hard or if I just try normally. I'll probably still win. But you take video games out, you focus on your business, and you replace video games, which is the key thing. When you removed it, you have to replace it with something else that you feel enjoyment to. Let's say you replace your video games with educational courses, or reading, or meditating, or gym, and all that stuff. You do that, ooh, now we got something cooking. Now we got something cooking. And now you're cooking, because now you're focusing a lot more on yourself, on your business, and growing. That's great. Keeping video games, that limits you. Even spending 2 hours, even 1 hour a day on video games, that's 7 hours a week wasted, which in a usual month is about 30 hours a month wasted on something that genuinely doesn't give you a net positive. And instead, waste your time, rise your brain a bit, take some brain points that you could use to something else. It's not good, unfortunately. I've wanted it to be good. I've tried. No, in the end, I think it's better to just cut them out, or at the very least start trying to cut it out. As I know a lot of us, it's very difficult to get enjoyment from playing like just 2 hours or 1 hour. But if you're in this position right now where you're like, okay, I'll listen, but I don't want to just cut it out all immediately, completely understandable. It's very hard to go from, oh dude, I play video games when I was 7 to I don't play video games anymore. It's really hard to do that without really feeling some negative effects. So what I would tell you, if you're playing, let's say 6 hours a day, 7 hours, some ridiculously high number that you really shouldn't, but you want to be a businessman, entrepreneur, take an hour like every week. So by the time a month has passed, instead of playing the six hours, you're playing for like 2, and replace that stuff with stuff that you want to do, or stuff you've never done because you never had a chance to. I think I experienced this actually when, instead of sitting down at home playing video games, like wasting my time, my buddy and I went to a park nearby and just messed around for like 3 hours there. Oh, that was so much fun. We're just at a park, just screwing around. I think even at one point we saw like someone had built a big like tree fort. It's not a fort, but it was like just a bunch of trees stacked together. So we just started yeeting trees onto that. Very fun, which got me a closer connection with my buddy, and it was, you know, very physically demanding because those trees were freaking heavy. Those sticks were heavy, and it was very fun compared to being at home and playing video games. So try and replace the video game time with stuff that you want to do or stuff that is necessary for your business. I know for me, one of the things that is necessary for me is to track new, because my business is book related, is to find new books to sell. So I would spend about an hour a day trying to find new books to sell, keeping track of them, seeing if I can purchase them, stuff like this. If I had video games, I wouldn't be able to do that because it wouldn't feel as important. It's something that's necessary. It's something that's important to me, and I find it fun. I find it more fun than video games. I find it more fun. This is how I'm going to describe it. It's more fun to try and find money, profit, fulfillment than trying to get XP in a game, because that doesn't help you in the real world. Think about it like this. If you're trying to go out on a date, or you're trying to impress your family, or you're trying to impress anyone, who do you think is going to give a shit about being level 50 or a max level in a game? Who's going to give a shit? Genuinely ask yourself that question. Who is going to give a shit? Because I can tell you, I won't give a shit. They won't give a shit. A lot of people don't care. And those that do, why? Why do they? It's a waste of time is what it is. You really should be working. Really should. So, if there's anything to take away from this, is focus your time onto stuff and, you know, work that is meaningful to you, but it's also fun, and have that replace your video game time, and slowly start to chip away at how much you play. And what you'll find is, as time goes on, like with me, you'll feel a little bored. You'll feel nothing to video games after a while. I think it took me around 2-3 months for this to like it took me a little bit of time to fully understand this and to like fully feel it. But yeah, after like 2-3 months, I just didn't feel anything playing anymore. And yeah, I just quit. And I've actually very improved my life, I will say. Now, obviously, there's still some, I would say the main thing I'm still trying to remove is YouTube as a whole. Just watching that, being sucked into an endless content spiral. I'm still trying to work on that. I can definitely say I've spent a lot less time on YouTube, the YouTube circle, or the YouTube vortex than, you know, what I normally do. So thumbs up from me. That's all I'm going to say about this topic. If you want to learn more about productivity, make sure to look at the link in the description so we can have one-on-one coaching session, so we can potentially talk about being helping you be more productive. And what's more than being productive than removing video games and adding stuff that you need.